especially welcome you because this is our 50th anniversary, and this is one of our 50th anniversary celebrations that we're doing today. So, first of all, I know how nervous some of you are. I am just as nervous as you are. And I know that there's been a lot of anxiety about today's event, but let us get started so that we can erase all of that. First of all, I want to acknowledge we have some visitors. We have some EIS board members who are here. Would you please stand? They are here to support you, so if you need any help, they are the ones that make all of this happen for us. We have some friends of the Institute who are here, guests of the Walter and Lola Green. Would you please stand up and let us, in case we have to come to you afterwards. And then you have our EIS staff who are here today also. So I would like to say to you for today's event, we have several different items to cover. And one of them is a video that we have, and I want to kind of let you know what you're going to see on the video. But before I do that, I need to do a little background story. And that background story is that there are two videos. One video is Craig Kilberger on video talking about his message to EIS. But I need to go back and give you, especially parents, a little insight into that. Imagine if your 13-year-old came home one day and said to you, or they were reading the paper and they said, "Oh, Mom and Dad, I read the story in the newspaper about some children in Pakistan who were not able to go to school because they were being forced to work." And that you became this 13-year-old became very upset with the idea that education was not a possibility for students in other parts of the world. Now, he lived in Canada. So this 13-year-old brought it to you and said, "What can we do?" And you as a parent were probably like, "Well, I'm not sure." He was very persistent, and so finally his parents had to save up some money, and they found somebody who was actually going to Pakistan in a year. And so that family let Craig go with them to Pakistan to find out. He wanted to talk to that young boy that the story was written about. Think about that for a moment. Your 13-year-old comes to you with this idea that you want to leave your country, go to another country to find out. I'm talking about Craig, and it's important for you to know this background history with him. So his family saves up enough money. They send him to Pakistan. He gets to talk to the person he wants to talk to, and he's coming back home, and he is in the airport. And the airport, guess who happens to be in the airport at the same time he's there? The Prime Minister of Canada, with a group of reporters who are following the Prime Minister. They hear about this young kid, 13 years, who's been on this journey, and so the reporters go over and start talking to him about how did this happen? Why did you know, and so the story became one that followed him back to Canada. So by the time he got back there, lots of people in his hometown knew what he had done. How many parents would have done that for their child at 13? Let them go. That was a big decision, but that was the kind of, and that's why this age range, the 13 to 17-year-olds that are going on this trip, it's important to kind of know this was all led by student involvement, kids helping kids, and so this is the background for that. So, what I want to say to you now is, it's very appropriate that we have a message from Craig, who heard about what you guys were doing, and guess where the interview or his comments are coming from? He's in an airport, getting ready to go on another overseas trip, but he wanted to support what was going on here, and so he sent this message. So part of the story for this is that when there was a relationship between the Greens and Craig, and that relationship began many years ago, and they were very supportive of what he was trying to do at the time. And in regards to that, there there was a trip that was planned, and Mr. Green and his son went on the trip to Kenya. So they did a volunteering trip like you're going to do, only they went to Kenya. When they came back, they were they were wondering, what else can we do? Because this was an amazing opportunity. So Mr. Green, as always, I have to tell you, their team came back and discussed with Mrs. Green, wouldn't it be great if one day maybe there could be some EIS students who could take this particular volunteer opportunity and go someplace and learn. So remember, FastBack, all of this. So here we are today with an amazing couple who have decided to go on this pathway because they were trying to figure out what can we do to support EIS's 50th anniversary. And so as a result of that, we're here today, again, honoring the 50th anniversary, honoring this opportunity to volunteer in another country to help and support those. So the first thing we want to do is we want to hear the remarks from Craig saying to you how great it is that you're taking up this challenge for those who are going to be invited to do this. The second clip you're going to see is a short 1.5-minute video about Ecuador and the Me to We thing. So you'll get a chance to see that. So it's about 4 minutes, and I will turn to my person who's doing this, and we will show you.
Hello to the Elementary Institute of Science, and to all who gathered to celebrate an extraordinary day. Mr. Green, a dear friend and mentor, has made a gift happen that I'm honored to be able to share a message of thanks and gratitude and congratulations to amazing group of young people. For those who haven't met, my name is Craig Kilder. I'm the co-founder of Free the Children and Me to We, longtime friend of Walter, and welcomed along with Walter. Hello to the Elementary Institute of Science, and to all who gathered to celebrate an extraordinary day. Walter Green, a dear friend and mentor, has made a gift happen that I'm honored to be able to share a message of thanks and gratitude and congratulations to amazing group of young people. For those who haven't met, my name is Craig Kilder. I'm the co-founder of Free the Children and Me to We, longtime friend of Walter, and welcomed along with Walter and his son Jason to Kenya to volunteer at our projects in the country. Free the Children, the organization I founded, has built over 650 schools and schoolhouses around the world, clean water medical for about 1 million beneficiaries, and 30,000 small businesses. We welcome thousands of young people every year to volunteer at these sites, including the young people who will be going overseas to celebrate the 50th anniversary of ESI to volunteer with us in the Amazon regions of Ecuador. It's an investment not only in Ecuador, but in these young change makers. So they'll continue this incredible dedication to service. And I'm aware that it's been a very rigorous selection process, and that truly extraordinary candidates emerge. While you're with us in the Amazon regions, you'll be engaged in service projects such as building schools, working side by side with the community, medical alternative income projects. You'll be immersed in culture, having a chance to learn about the traditional peoples of the region, everything from learning from traditional cocoa making to blow darting. For example, the chief always cracks the same joke every time: you cannot inhale learning how to blow dart. But in these communities, you'll be immersed to an amazing people and an extraordinary culture, one that you'll certainly go to give, but I assure the youth recipients, you'll receive the greatest gift in return. It changes your life, a perspective in the world, and how we can change this world for the better. To those awesome recipients, to Walter Green, and to extraordinary institutions celebrating 50 years, it's an honor for us at Free the Children to be associated with all of you. I hope you have an amazing journey ahead.
My Me to We trip to Ecuador proved that to be true. Oh, this is hard work. with us.
You have to eat it.
Eat it. I saw and experienced things that I would have never found at home, and therefore learned life lessons that I'll keep with me forever. We always think that we have time, but the time for adventure, the time for change, and the time to live your life is now.
So, now that we know a little bit about Craig and we know a little bit about the Ecuador experience, just to introduce my dear friends, Lola and Walter Green. One of the things that's amazing about this particular couple is that they have been friends of EIS's for about 17 years. And they are what we call special friends because they have done some pretty remarkable things for EIS. We are now sitting in the Lola and Walter Green conference room, which they named when we were building the building. The students who are here are following in a tradition of the Commission on Science That Matters. They took the first initiative, the health initiative, and sponsored that for our students so that they were able to learn and incorporate health initiatives into their lives, and they continue on to this day. Many of them have taken up that gauntlet and have done some pretty remarkable things in health. So what they do is, Walter is our ambassador and Lola is one of our advisory board members. And just to give you a little background, when the beginning of our 50th anniversary, we had some brochures that were made up, and it was called Special Gifts for Special Friends. And they pretty much decided that their special gift was going to be something that directly affected young people, which is what brought them to EIS in the first place. When they before they even moved here, they heard about what was going on with our students, and they called and wanted to know how they could become involved, even before they lived in San Diego. So that was telling you how they were drawn to our young people. Every time there's a young person involved at EIS, you can almost guarantee that the Greens are going to have their handput and their influence wrapped around them in all kinds of ways. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you, for those who don't know them, Walter and Lola Green.
So you heard speak a really special force for 28 years, and it's a beautiful building, but inside this building is a lot of soul. And inside that soul is the leader and executive director, Doris Anderson, who I will never fail to acknowledge. Thank you, Doris. My wife and I are really thrilled to be part of this 50th anniversary. I was trying to think how many nonprofits actually exist for 50 years. And then how many are modeling a better quality year in and year out? Very, very small percent. So there are thousands of young people, since we've been involved, have been influenced by this remarkable hands-on program. And tonight, Lola and I are really, really happy to be selecting some students who will get to go on the very first international volunteering trip for EIS. So it's a real landmark. Candidly, I thought if I, with Lola's help, could arrange the tour and the program and the airlines and the logistics, that would really be the tough part. Not so. The toughest part, by far, has been this selection process. Every one of you are great candidates and terrific people and have done a superb job applying for this. I would be really proud if I were each of you and you're sitting here, and I would also be proud if I were your parents. And one of the things that is the hallmark of EIS is that nothing a student does can be done without their parents. So as we honor the young people by selecting them, we are also honoring the parents who have been alongside of them on this EIS journey for so many years. It was just over a month ago that we announced this. It had been a dream of mine, actually, so ever since I went on the trip, I said, you know, someday if we could figure out a way to send some deserving students on this overseas trip, this would be a real dream. Well, the dream is coming true now. There was an initial meeting. This only goes back 5 weeks. There was an initial meeting, you all remember, but for those who aren't familiar, everyone showed up and they were asked by Ms. Anderson, would you give me a little sense of why this trip is so important to you? What it would mean to you? The students were so articulate. Doris Anderson at the end of the meeting said, we have a problem. This is one extraordinary group, and I'm glad you and your wife have the job of deciding which ones to send. So I said, no problem. Let's call the second meeting. Let's have the parents there, because I think we'll learn a lot from the parents. Bring the parents on. So we brought the parents there, and we said, okay, now tell us why your son or daughter is so deserving of this honor. One by one, they were so articulate. They were so expressive. They were so committed. They were so appreciative. I now understood what Dora said. We have a problem. We have a real problem. So, went home, discussed with Lola. Lola, what do you think we ought to do? And we said, why don't we give them a really tough application? Good idea. And we'll think of 5 of the most difficult questions for any college applicant to answer, a little less teenagers that are attending EIS. Gave them a couple weeks to fill it out. They could get into any college with their responses. They were only given 1 or 2 pages to respond to. They were succinct, they were expressive, they were impressive, and now I really knew we had a problem. So, I said, I'm running out of ideas. I can't figure out how to make this decision. And I said to Lola, I said, well, you know, as a starter, I think we got to increase the number from 4 to 5. There are 10 applying, so that makes it a little bit easier. She said, that's a good idea, let's do that. And I said, well, let's also interview them individually, and let's make it tougher. Let's bring on some observers to create some tension, so we'll see how well they can perform under pressure. We've got to figure something out. So we had a group of 7 people, and Ms. Anderson, my wife and I were asking them tough questions, and didn't help. They were all terrific. We left saying, this is something I'm going to have to think back. Do you ever remember You Want to Be a Millionaire, that TV program? You know, and I thought, what happens when the guy is up there and he can't answer the question? So he gets a lifeline, right? And that lifeline allows him to call a friend and say, hey, listen, I need some help. I got a tough situation. So I took a little liberty with that game, and I called several friends. And I want to show a picture of the people that I reached out to. They were in my family, too. Our son, Jonathan. Yeah, we reached out to him. He was one of the observers, even at the interviews. We reached out to Jason, our other twin son. Then we went to Lisa and Tom Ligori, and these people not only know EIS, they know how passionate we are about it. We also brought in Steve Lyman. Steve's actually here today. Raise your hand, Steve. He was another observer, been a supporter of EIS for a long time, and I thank you. And another fellow by the name of Tommy Schulhoff. I said, guys, we have a problem. Explain the problem. He said, okay, Walter, here's a few other ways of looking at it. Why don't you find out, maybe you can differentiate between their ages. I say, that's a good point. There are 4 people going off to college. Maybe this is the way to do it. Great time, they're going to college, great break between their senior year and going to college. My wife said, well, that's possible. But remember, what about influencing people when they're younger and then you have more time to influence the world. So maybe it should be the younger. I said, oh my God, that's not going to help. So let's go to history with EIS. That's a good one. Yeah. Who's been here the longest? Who's made the biggest investment? Who's been the student the longest? I was walking through the corridors. I still cannot figure out all the complicated subjects they learn here. In any case, who's been here the longest? So I went to their resumes. They started when they were 7, when they were 8, when they were 9, some as old as 10. There was only one person who moved here from Chicago in 2011. Other than that, everybody's been here 7, 8, 9, 10 years. Sorry, can't use that one either. So I said, well, what about this Me to We trip? Oh yeah, that's a good one. Remember there were six of us that went up to Me to We to see it in Oakland? And I said, well, maybe we should send the 4 that didn't go to Me to We. And I says, wait a second. Do you remember those letters you got from all the people that went to Me to We and how important they were and that decision to make a difference? How can you decide for someone who didn't go for those that went and loved it? And I said, oh, can't use that either. I said, all right, listen, this is all about going down there and investing, becoming a better person, paying back in your community, making a difference in the world. Why don't we take a look at their charitable work? Oh, good. I would be hard-pressed to find any adult with the charitable work that these young people have done. So I went down to the youngest one. She's 14. And she summarized her 748 hours of charity work that she's done as a 14-year-old. Well, it was clear that didn't work. So that's our lifelines shared with me how difficult this must be, and each of them not only had their own ideas, but they really wanted to be helpful too. Well, it's been over 5 weeks. Some of you must have felt it's been a lot longer. I've been working on this forever. In any case, we know how hard each of you have worked, whether it's interviews, the applications, showing up, and that I wanted just for everyone to look at you one more time before we begin the selection process. So anybody who thinks, even after all of this, they're still really deserving to going on that trip. If there are any candidates that feel they're still really deserving, you just come up here and line up and take a look at that audience. So come on up. Anybody who still feels they're really deserving.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
No way. Oh my gosh.
Oh my. Okay. All right, so this young man speaks really very well. He's on the debating club. Should let you speak for me today, but if you could just move a little to the left, that would be great. All right, so we all know about sports. And in sports, I reviewed those personal meetings, the applications, charity, Me to We, all the other criteria. And frankly, it's just too tough to call. It's a case where everybody's deserving, so in the end, my wife and I decided that the only way to do it...
Lottery.
No. It's called the luck of the draw. Now, hold on. Let me get the ground rules. You only get to pick one envelope. You will not open the envelope until you're instructed to do so. Now this group, take a deep breath. Now I want you to know this is Veronica. During the interview, amongst all the fantastic comments that were made, and there were many, but since you're next to me, can I relate one?
Sure.
She said, Mr. and Mrs. Green,
whether I get to go on this trip or not, I'm going to make a difference in this world. That's the quality of these students that are standing here today.
okay, well, it's time to pick a card. Do not open the card. until I instruct you, oh, all right, you're immediately disqualified. One cup.
I don't think I can stand it. This is too much.
One card, Jen? Different? Yeah, good. Okay. All right, well, this is like 5 weeks of built-up pressure. Just want to ask a question. Who would like to open their envelope first? Who would like to do it? How many want to open their envelope first? Come on. I know you're anxious to open it, right? You anxious? How many are anxious to open it?
Yeah.
There's another tough decision. Go open them together. Let's open them. Go. Open them. Let's see who's winning. Let's see who's going. Let's go. Good luck to you. Open the card. You're going. Oh, you're going. You're going.
We're working at sample cider. We're going to be testing
I got such a
Smile. Yay. That's good.
Got it? Now what's me?
Nice too. I just all right. They're good.
Yeah, we all.
Just watch. You better wake up.
Okay. Everybody have a seat. Sit down. Okay, have a seat. Everybody have a seat, please.
Everybody take your seat, please. Okay. So excited.
I know, right?
Thank you.
Take a deep breath. All our winners. I'm so happy for everybody. I am so thrilled for you all. And I know you're going to have a fabulous, fabulous time. I wish Walter and I were going with you all. I'm really pleased to announce that in addition to the Me2Week program that you'll be going to in Ecuador and the airfare that we're taking care of, each of the winners will be given $500 for immunizations and passports, and hopefully there'll be some remaining funds for personal expenses. And at this time, I'd like to acknowledge those who were not only part of our lifeline, but who also underwrote the additional students that so that everybody could go. And so we have a picture here of our son Jason Green, participated in helping to support all going. Steve Lyman, who is with us. Steve, would you please stand up for a second? We really thank you.
Can I just say one thing, Lola, before
Yes.
you? Steve stand up because Steve, has a connection to Me2We also, because when the commission program first started, he was the underwriter for the Me2We leadership team to come down and work with our students. So please give Steve another hand. And he has not.
And another dear friend, Lisa Ligori, who could not be here tonight, and her wonderful dad, Tom Ligori. They were very involved in participating and supporting the program. And Tommy Schulhoff, a dear friend of ours from New York, and the two of us. We are thrilled, and we just hope that all of you come back with an incredible, wonderful experience, and that you can share it with all the people in your lives. And we're delighted that we could work it out so that all of you could go.
I wanted to raise your glass for a toast. For this occasion, we've entitled Special Gifts for Special Friends. The investment made in you, the investment that the Greens and their friends have made in this organization has led us to this day. What we need from you are excellent returns on their investment, on every donor who has invested in you. We need the returns to be as magnificent as you are. 10 years ago, 17 years ago when they came on board, they're seeing their investment now in those essays that you wrote, in your participation in programs when you were asked to do things for EIS. So our wish for you now, our toast for you, is that your return, whether it's 1 month from now, 6 months from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, that you will be the one that the change starts with you, and that you will always remember gratitude and how important it is to give back and to pay forward. So here is to the Greens. Thank them for everything. Thank you. And thank you, students, for living up to the challenge. Thank you, parents, for being a part of this. Thank you for the EIS staff and board that have made all of this possible in this organization. And here's to 50 years of EIS forever.
Congratulations to all of you. You really did an exceptional job.
Okay, thanks.
So, thank you for that beautiful toast. And we thought we ought to kind of get in the mood a little bit for this trip. So, each of you, now you have to declare yourself. See, you've been congratulated for being awarded this. Now you have to come up and accept the challenge to make a difference. So you're going to do it one at a time. You're going to come up with a parent if the parent is with you. I am also aware that this is the moment, and so each of you will have an inscribed copy of my book, This is the Moment. And each of you will also receive a brochure on the Amazon so you can start reading, and there are a couple pages in here which will give you the sample itinerary so you'll get started. And so let's just, oh, incidentally, there's no such thing as a free t-shirt. So, you have to decide now, this is your final step, whether you want to accept the Be the Change challenge. And when you do, I want to hear a sentence or two, just a sentence or two, of what winning this award means to you. Now, to be completely fair, I thought we should do it alphabetically. So, the first recipient.
You don't have to make a big speech.
One or two thoughts about what winning the award has meant to you. You put a lot into it. So, Philip, back up. You're first.
Dad, parents up. Yeah, parents up.
Now we get a shot.
Yeah, family shot, yeah.
Okay. This is the book, t-shirt, and come on up. One or two sentences, what it means to win the award and go to Ecuador.
First take two. You accept. I accept. I guess after this trip, I get to start life really thinking differently. I guess that's all I have to say.
There's your t-shirt. And his dad.
Well, let's give a hand.
Genova Edwards. And your dad here? Okay. Go ahead, Genova. You're on.
So I accept, and a few words. I'm just really grateful and just really happy to be going. I can finally breathe now. And I'm just ready to be the change.
Terrific.
Sasha Horn. There she is, right there. And your mom. All right. There you go.
I do accept the change. My neighbors will accept the change. My family members will accept the change. I am ready. I'm all ready. Thank you. Thank you.
Tasha's the youngest member of the trip, 14 years old. She'll be great. Jeffrey Kramer.
First, I accept the challenge to make a difference when I come back, and hopefully this will just be a starting point to start a legacy of inspiring others to do better in their world, in their communities, in whatever aspect they can, and just be a light for change. And I'm really grateful for everyone, the Greens especially, and all the donors, and just thank God for everything that He does for me.
Doris Miles.
So I do accept the challenge, and I just want to say thank you. And I have really been nervous, just wondering like who's going to go. My mom has too, and just knowing that everybody's going to get to go, and I'm happy. So thank you.
Marielle Noah.
I accept the challenge, and I'm super grateful and thankful for everything you guys have done, and I plan to be the change in the future.
Great. Nishan Tyler.
So I wholeheartedly accept the invitation, and for me this trip means opportunity, and I'm extremely grateful to have this opportunity with all of you. So thank you very much.
Veronica Vasquez.
I wholeheartedly accept, obviously, this incredible opportunity. Extremely grateful. I know that this is definitely just a jumping off point for me. I plan to take what I learned from this trip and run with it and do everything that I can to influence change in the world. So thank you once again.
And last, but for sure not least, Desiree Wilson.
Well, hey, I accept. This trip is this is amazing. I can't believe all of us are going. This is like the last thing I ever thought would happen. I'm just really happy that we're all going to be able to go and experience this together. Because I know that, I don't know what to expect now, but I know that once we get there, it's just going to be something amazing. I'm glad we're going to all have the opportunity to see it together, and then maybe we'll all end up figuring something out, and we'll, do something together, and I think that's just amazing. Thanks.
Well, now that they've officially accepted, let's give one more hand to all of the students. And Doris Anderson have some concluding.
Okay, Justin.
Oh.
Some housekeeping to
And
do.
explaining.
I'm going to join that bandwagon. I want to go on this.
I know that's right.
I know as parents that you must be sitting there thinking, what it'd be like to go and do that with the kids. So I just want to hear just a few minutes from some of you may have as parents. I always like to hear what our parents think about this moment. This is a special EIS moment. These kinds of things don't come around that often, guys. There's just not a lot of this going on, okay? So I want to hear from a couple of parents if you have something that you'd like to just share with us today. Just stand up and say it.
I'd like to first off say that God has truly blessed us with you guys and this wonderful opportunity. I'm not a very emotional person, but I'm going to be emotional. The challenges that we face in our everyday lives mean nothing to the experience that we have been given now. That our kids will be able to do something and see something somewhere else that can make an impact. And they can also bring that impact here and make a change. And I just want you guys to know I'm truly from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God bless you.
That is pretty amazing. Anybody else want to share a moment? Just stand up.
I would like to second what she said. It is a true blessing, and I'm like you, kind of overwhelmed because we thought about this and it was something we prayed about and we said, you know, God, they will bless them. They're going to do what they need to do. And I don't know if the students understand, but as a parent, as someone growing up in this community, knowing that my child gets to travel the world and make a difference, you can't ask for anything better than that. You can't ask. I mean, that's part of education. Education is not only books, it's that hands-on experience. And they'll remember this the rest of their life. And us as parents, because I'm happy for all the students. They're like my kids, and I don't even know some of them, but I feel like they're my kids, and they're going to do something great. And you can't ask for anything better. And I want to thank the Greens and all the donors for what you have done for our kids, because they've been here forever, like you said, 10 years, 7 years, 9 years. But this is just the icing on the cake. And we are going to you guys have set a stage for them, and as parents, we're going to push them to make sure they make a difference in the world, because you have blessed them. Now they need to go bless somebody else.
I wanted to start by saying thank you so much for everything you guys have done for our family, the Greens, Mrs. Doris Anderson, Mrs. Robinson, Mr. Brandon, and all the other teachers as well. I was excited about learning how to do the solar ovens and dissecting the frogs and all those other things that we've been blessed with to be able to do at EIS. But this is just amazing. I mean, I can't even get the words together to express how grateful and thankful we are. And it shows us that, and it shows our children that if they work hard, they will be rewarded. And like she said, we were going to push our kids to do more and to do better and to help others and just to push them in. I think Miss Wilson, the last person who spoke, the young lady, she said that maybe they can do something as a group, and hopefully when they go to Ecuador and they come back, maybe they can form their own nonprofit and give back to the community again. So I just want to say thank you. God bless everyone here, and God bless Mr. and Mrs. Green, Ms. Anderson, and Ms. C, and everyone at EIS. Just thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's really nice to hear from the parents, because I think they have a different voice and come from a different level of understanding. And so as parents, we only want the best for our young people. And so when an opportunity like this comes, it is as important to that individual child as it is to that family. not only that, it's important to the community. And so it elevates everybody in the community when this happens. So we're hoping that good things continue to come upon us so that we're able to provide these and bring the people here who can make things happen for our students. So having said that, there's some house cleaning things we have to do. We have, before you leave tonight, you have to fill out a form that has to be sent back to me to we tonight. So you need to, we'll pass out the forms and then you will fill out the information and write as clearly as you can on the form so that we can read it. So that's one thing. Josh, what was the other thing we have? You have a whole list of stuff.
I do have a whole list of things.
Okay, before Josh gets to his, I also want to make sure, parents, that you sign your kids up for the commission program this summer, okay? You don't get off easy with that. So make sure that you call Josh and sign your kids up for 1 or 2 of the weeks that the program is going to be going on. Okay, so Josh and Brandon?
Tomorrow I will be emailing you guys. You guys can join a Facebook group or something like that amongst yourselves, but I got you all in an email together, and I'm going to be emailing you about how to get your vaccines, what vaccines you need, all the steps to prepare for the trip. Also, you need to get going on getting a passport if you don't have one already. These things take, if you know, a couple months. So, and also you will need to keep records of all of those doctor's forms you have. So, those are mostly the logistics parts. We will be setting up a few meetings before the weeks before. So we'll expect to have like 2 or 3 orientation meetings. One will be able to bring the parents, you know, and all that. So you guys can understand, both parents, what they're going to be expected to do while they're there, and emergency contacts and all of that. And I will be the person to contact while your kids are there and in the preparation periods. So, hi, Mr. Josh. Also, this is the registration form that you guys all got. The link is on the link for the online registration. You have to do. You will get an email back. You'll get it. You'll have to do it on Thursday, and then the completion will be next week. So, the instructions will be sent to you in those as well.
Be more specific. Yeah. They will get an online registration by Thursday, and it has to be answered before.
Done by Monday.
It's on the bottom of that.
So
each of them should have.
The instructions are on the sheet I just gave you. You will receive it by Thursday. It has to be finished by Monday, June 2nd. And the details are on there. And that's what you're signing to say that you will do. And also to fill out the top section of this paper as well. Anybody not get this?
I got it. Have an extra copy.
Anything else? We've covered everything.
I just want to say a few words. This has been such an extraordinary experience for Walter and myself. He's really, it's brought him such joy to be able to do this. And I must say to the parents here, you have raised amazing children. They are just the nicest, most caring, warm, sensitive people that I have seen in a long time. And I really think you're the ones who really need to be congratulated for the extraordinary job you've done in raising beautiful, beautiful young people. And I know they're going to come back and we're all going to be so proud of what they have done and will be doing. And I wish you all a beautiful, wonderful summer. And I want to thank my husband for being able to come up with this idea. And Doris, you just bring us to tears. You're just such an extraordinary, wonderful person who has created such a legacy of love here. And I just wish I had had an experience like you, like these young people going to a school like EIS. And the staff that you have, Josh and Brandon, you just are exceptional people. So thank you all for letting us bring this to you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Why don't we all enjoy the amenities and just be sure to take lots of pictures, please.
There's one picture I want to get that I haven't gotten yet, so I want you to bear with me. And I want everybody to head out to the stairwell on the stairs right up here. And I'm going to get the photographer to go at the bottom and get a picture. Yes?
Really quick, after you said pictures, I totally forgot. I was thinking, I had this idea while we were waiting on this decision. Maybe since we have the flip cams, maybe we can take a video while we're there.
Oh, you should. Yeah, you should.
And take like a video of everything we do. Because I know like sometimes pictures don't capture it all. And I know I forget when I go on trips, a lot of things that happen. So I was thinking maybe we can take a video, maybe every day we rotate, takes the video, and then we come back and put it all together.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm sure by the time we have these meetings during June and July that we're going to come up with all kinds of things. So just keep those great ideas because that's an excellent one. And we want this to be the best team that ever went to Ecuador. I want to hear back, boy, those kids from EIS really worked hard. They understood it. They knew why they were there. And they were the best kids, the best teams we've ever had down there. That's what I expect of you guys. So my expectation is way up here. And I know you guys are going to deliver. So we're going to make that happen. We're going to do that. But right now, I want you on those stairs. Everybody on the stairs. Just not the kids, but everybody in the room. Forgot. Sit down. Brandon, the pins. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay. One of the things this year we've been doing is when we have special moments of celebration, we have all been pinned. So the people who've been pinned in this room are going to pin our students. Our students are going to pin their parents. So it is the EIS 50th anniversary pin. Okay, so as soon as you get your pin, put your pin on if you can, and then head for the door. So we're going to pass them out. Lola and Walter, just hand them to everybody. Make sure everybody gets a pin. Just give me the little bag. Okay, yep. Students, parents, everybody. The students get two, one for their parents. It's okay. Yep, because I'm going to ask you for something. Just hold on. Just hold on. If you don't have your pen, raise your hand. Yeah, give them their pen. Everybody has their pen.
Oh, I already have one.
The students, I want the students to put your pen on. Okay, put your pen on. That's okay. That's all you need right now. Yeah. Well, get one for her. I'm proud of it.
We're getting more pins.
Okay, we're getting more pins.
Everybody?
Who didn't get a pin?
I actually don't have one.
Okay.
I guess I should get one, right?
Yes. Okay, now head out to the stairwell, the first set of stairs, okay? Okay, head toward the stairwell.
Oh, I actually have